Next fight, Shane Young versus Blake Bilder. Featherweight bout. Blake Bilder sitting at plus 125, minus 125 for Shane Young. Over-under set at 2.5 rounds, minus 119 and for the over and plus 119 for the under. Blake Bilder undefeated, but 32 years old, only has 8 professional fights. Making his UFC debut, had the submission win on Dana White's Contender Series. I'm not really impressed with either fighter after watching, the tape study on them and assessing their capabilities. Shane Young, he's been off for like 2 years, and by the looks of it on his Instagram, he is, I don't want to say juiced up, but he's bodied up. Like he's looking like he's in great shape. Like he's taken that time off to really get everything right. But watching him on film, keep in mind it is 2 years ago on film, so it's kind of hard to judge where he's at now. But made his UFC debut in 2017 against Volk, lost that obviously. Couple wins against guys who are no longer in the UFC, and then back-to-back losses to Ludovic Klein, got knocked out, and then a loss to Omar Morales. It just looks like he's super hesitant on the feet, and he's training out of City Kickboxing, so you would think he's a kickboxer, right? He's going to be a really good kickboxer, but he just hasn't really shown like he wants to let it go. He's only 29 years old, so he could have made a lot of improvements over these 2 years he's taken off. In the fights, it looks like he goes to clinch sometimes. I'm just like, if you're some kickboxer, like, why are you clinching?
Yeah.
It's just very odd. But Blake Bilder hasn't really shown much on the feet. So if this fight stays standing, I would take Shane Young all day, based that he's a kickboxer, but he just hasn't really shown much that he wants to just let go. So it's just tough to judge, especially with the layoff. Blake Bilder, though, if he gets you to the ground, he's got really good BJJ, and he's got a really good back take. He's not great at wrestling, though. He's not great at getting the fight to the ground. So I want to take Blake Bilder as the dog, but I don't know how Shane Young's going to look, and I don't know that Blake Bilder is going to be able to get it to the ground if that's how he wants to. If it stays on the feet, I don't necessarily trust him to get it done. So this one's a greasy fight. What do you think on it?
Yeah, it is. It's kind of hard to get a read on, like, in that aspect. I mean, Bilder, you look at his record, rear naked chokes, triangle chokes. He does have a knockout recently, but on the feet, I don't think he's going to want to stand and bang with Shane Young. Even though Shane Young, I think what you were talking about with him, kind of looks out of place or doesn't throw all the volume that he should, even though he's a good kickboxer. I think it's just a lack of confidence right now for him on the feet.
Yeah.
If he finds his confidence, Blake Bilder's definitely not going to want to stand there while Shane Young's getting into a flow. But if Bilder can just get to the clinch, I think he's going to be able to take his back. And that's where he's going to want to be in this fight. That's where he's going to do his best work. We've seen it time and time again. But, making your UFC debut, Shane Young's been in there with the pound for pound number one in his debut. So yeah, it is a tough call. I would almost lean Bilder right now. There's not a lot of fights you watch of Shane Young and you think, man, that guy's super impressive. But I mean, there are some situations and some moments in Blake Bilder's fights when he does get to the position he wants on the back that, he's very talented. So yeah, I'm actually going to lean Bilder in this fight, and I like him getting him at plus money, even though he's making his debut. I do think he has more to offer, and I think the UFC would rather him win at this point. And as a slight underdog, I think that's going to be my lean here.